Gunner, for our first story, I need you to play up a video clip from our good friends at Fox News. Special shout out to Case Study QB, who's been uploading a lot of great content on social media. He's sitting through corporate media, so we don't have to. Play the first video about fear-mongering on Seattle protests. Would you kindly?
Of course.
What is this, BioShock?
Further divide, further distrust, and misinformation. The threat to invade Seattle, to divide and incite violence in our city, is not only unwelcome, it would be illegal.
This woman is a complete disaster. So federal involvement, Terry, is illegal, but all of these Marxists taking over block after block after block is acceptable?
Exactly. In her mind it is, and this is the problem when you elect communists to the city council. This is the problem when you put, as I've said all along,
there are no communists in the city council,
the so-called progressives and these kinds of people in positions of power. They want those positions because from the inside they intend to clamp down on all the rest of us, and that's what this is all about. We explained it, as you have talked about before, in that book, in their own words. We lay out exactly what is happening here. And this is nothing more than further shots in the revolution that is in these people's minds. But it really does destabilize everything the constitutional republic is all about. All those people hemmed into that part of town, they have rights too. And none of these people are going to defend those rights of those people to move about, to get out, to have different opinions. All they're going to do is threaten, intimidate, and bully. And
wait, is he talking about the police?
Unacceptable. The very party that has just talked for the last few years about bullying and intimidation is now endorsing it in a big way. And all those demonstrations around the world, they're nothing more than international solidarity with the, quote, movement. And again, we lay out the direct connections.
By the way, he needs a better fitting suit.
All right, Terry, thank you so much. And coming up, if you're a cartoon dog or rabbit, watch out, because the left is coming for you.
Oh, no, the cartoon dogs and rabbits are next? Oh, my God. So first, let's stop for a second. Let's stop for 1 minute. Stop for 1 damn minute. Okay, first of all, you know, I can't help but think of before the George Floyd protests, there was other protests happening where you had these armed state militias. The militias were
but
out
those
there.
Were patriots that were
they were
looking to preserve
patriots,
the
and they were
revolution.
screaming. They were being very disrespectful to cops. They were screaming in front of the cops. They were spitting on the cops. They had their AR-15s. The militia was out there, and they saved the day. Yeah, see, this is once again the double standard of Fox News. See, you know, we all like to talk crap about MSNBC and CNN, but that doesn't mean we're not going to get the five-finger slaps across the face of Fox News because, let's face it, it's more fear-mongering. All the while, they're ignoring the fact that the Seattle State Police and Seattle Police Department were shooting chemical and dangerous hazardous materials, tear gas, onto the protesters, which is illegal in the Geneva Conventions. And you know what? I think this is what happens when the people get out on the streets and actually demand for real accountability, because police brutality across this country is a real thing. But yet the geniuses at Fox News are saying, oh no, the communists are taking over. Everyone's afraid. Well, you want to know who's afraid? It's the establishment. I mean, Amazon spent millions of dollars to try and vote out Kshama Sawant out of office. So, gee, I think at the end of the day, the real truth is this, is that they're afraid of the fact that Kshama Sawant and numerous other progressives can actually do this and demand change. And, you know, I think I see the establishment, they're clutching their pearls because they're just so afraid. And you know what? I really have to wonder this, but perhaps maybe during the midterm election cycle, we might see Socialist Alternative take even a bigger step into getting involved in local and state politics.
Yeah, so it's very funny to see them. First of all, Fox News' entire thing is if you call yourself even remotely something socialist like Bernie Sanders and his democratic socialism, which was arguably social democrat, they're like socialist, socialist, socialist. But in this case, when you finally come out, hey, I'm a socialist, we're a lot of socialists doing this, they're like communists. It's like, what? Can't we just like, can you got what you wanted? Other thing that's really funny that I keep seeing happen on TV, especially Fox News, is they're like, and the Antifa are there. By the way, Antifa's a group that doesn't actually exist. It's sort of just like anti-fascist. So it's like the same way of saying, ooh, look, small business owners are there. Ooh, look, people that don't like fascism are over there. And it's the point that Kit made is also wonderful. When it was farmers fighting over cattle fees that they have not paid, and it's the Bundys and they're good old boys and your kind of core audience, and they point guns at the federal government, then it's, well, these guys need to be heard out. There's both sides of the
patriots, we
story.
gotta listen
We
to
need to be
them.
worried about how we treat them. I mean, we shouldn't shoot them back. But when, ironically, the guy's entire speech that he gave, he could literally be talking about the police. Instead, he's like, those people have rights. They can't be scared. You can't intimidate people in their own homes. Not getting the great irony in the statement and the movement that he's yelling at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jose.
Yeah, just I'll keep it brief. Just because glad Councilwoman Swan will be on later. I think social alternatives are very careful about picking their shots, and they're definitely advancing the narrative of opening people's minds that we could have systems completely different than what we have in terms of police for community safety. I think it's important to go back and remind everyone that Black Lives Matter movement, a lot of these movements against austerity, really became pronounced during Occupy, really became pronounced, during the Obama years, against Eric Holder's, office. And now under Trump, we're seeing, I'm hoping, the actions that we're seeing happen in Seattle don't have ramifications like Amazon Prime brings you security for your gated community, things like that. But I do think that it's definitely at the forefront of where these discussions are happening, which is why, it's much more exciting that we might actually see advancements, not just, in terms of policy that we saw, with the Bernie Sanders movement really push the limit on terms of what kind of policy people accept. What we can see out of here is Fox News is scrambling to take hold of the narrative, not just to reassert the police state, but to go against the grain of what socialist alternatives and Antifa and grassroots people are inspiring the youth to envision their futures, in a country that really limits what, what their possibilities are right now.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think that that's not only such a good point about what they're doing. I think it's a fair point to say that you're right. Socialist alternative is very careful because they don't have that much ammunition. They're still building up, so they got to pick their shots well. And this seems like a good place to do it. And it's just very funny, again, that Fox News, it's like anything. It's like with AOC, with Bernie Sanders, with Osama Shawan. It's not, hey, what did they do? Is it good for the country? It's what they did is bad for the country because their ideological viewpoints that we don't even understand are bad because of propaganda from the Cold War.
Right.
Ipso facto, that's the story.
And I think as a final note, too, I mean, maybe we are looking at the beginning stages in which we could see a rise of potentially another third party. Now, again, of course, that's probably further down the road. Social Alternative is a political organization.
But they're building power, which
but
is
they
what's
are
important.
building power, and maybe the Seattle, Washington, the state as a whole is a perfect base ground. I know that in the 2018 midterm election cycle, and I'll just keep it quick, but Ginger Jensen, she was fighting for council seat as well in the city of Minneapolis, and the Democrats and Republicans through ranked choice voting worked together to stop her advancing further because she was climbing up really fast in regards towards building a popular movement.
It was an ironic situation where ranked choice voting didn't help the socialist candidate.
Yeah, but the Democrat and Democrats and Republicans
She would have won
working together.
otherwise.
Yeah, she would have won otherwise. Yeah.